Hey everyone, we have Eileen here with us today, and she specializes in organizing your dream weddings, your honeymoons, your romantic getaways at beautiful all inclusive resorts in the Caribbean. Today, she's here to answer some questions about these types of trips so that you can have the best experience.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm happy to be here and to go over what I love to do. I've been doing this for over 3 decades, and this is my absolute passion taking care of romantic vacations, destination weddings, and honeymoons. And I certainly specialize in the Sandals and Beaches resorts, though I do others. I really love this product.
Great, so we'll get started then. The first question is, what inspired you to specialize in Caribbean weddings and honeymoons and romantic getaways?
I love the Caribbean because the ocean is just incredible. The beaches are fabulous, lots of things to do. And clients just love that setting with the beautiful flowers, the sunsets, and the beautiful resorts, of course.
The second question then, what makes Sandals and Beaches resorts stand out for destination weddings and honeymoons?
Because they are the top resort in the Caribbean for doing destination weddings, and they have been for several years, and they have it down to a science. The resorts are beautiful, they're conducive to romance, and I have been working with them since the beginning.
Great, so the next question, how do you keep up to date with the different types of rooms and resort details?
Well, if you've looked at the website, the Sandals website and the Beaches website, you see how many room categories they have. So I definitely have to keep up. They're constantly improving things. So I try to get to each resort probably at least every other year. And I try to go to some of my weddings to keep up with things. But the room categories change, the resorts change, and I think it's a good idea to keep up with them. And I also keep up with the resort personnel so they know me.
Awesome. The next question is, can you walk us through the process of planning a destination wedding with you? How do you work?
Well, first, I have a lot of referrals because many times we'll do a destination wedding and people are the same age, friends call me, and we get started on the process. Either that or I have people send me a quote request, and I ask them specific questions to find out what they are looking for, what their dream wedding is, and then I make some suggestions, and we go from there and narrow things down, and it works out really, really well. Once we pick out the resort, then I usually get the bride and groom booked, and then I offer to get in touch with their guests and book them too to keep the rooms all together. There are a couple of different wedding contracts and ways to book weddings, so we figure out which is best for the couple, and we go from there.
Yeah, it sounds like you really personalize the whole experience.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. I love what I do, and I've been doing it a long time, and there's nothing I'd rather be doing than helping young couples. I love young couples, and I hope to have relationships with them year after year after year. Right now, I'm headed to Exuma to celebrate one of my longtime clients who got married a few years ago. Well, more than a few years ago, actually, about 10 years ago to be exact. And I'm going down to celebrate a special birthday with them for a few nights. So I like to keep up with my clients, and they refer their friends to me, and I try to keep it really personal. And I used to have a large agency with employees, and now I just do exactly what I want to do, because when I had the large agency, I had to do everything people came in and asked for, and plus take care of employees. It's really nice to just focus on my couples and couples that want to go on an anniversary trip, retie the knot. It's just fun. It's not like work. I'm not working. I'm just having fun.
So, Eileen, what advice would you give to couples who are planning their destination wedding or their honeymoon?
First of all, I would suggest that they plan early and pick the resort that they like and the destination that they dream of getting married at, and not to pay attention to pricing too much for guests, because I often find that couples think that certain people are going to go to their wedding and they don't, and sometimes people that they don't expect end up going. So it's best to focus on what you really want for your dream wedding. If for some reason couples do not have all the guests they'd like to have come to their wedding, they often have a barbecue or a party when they get home for the others, or they can do a live stream of the ceremony.
How does the live streaming work exactly?
They have a team that does that on the resort. Really good photography, video team. They're fantastic, and they do it, and people know when the ceremony's going to start, and they can get right into it, which is really nice. That's part of one of the wedding packages that you can purchase. Otherwise, you can purchase a video, and then at the party that you have at home, you can show the video. So it works out really well, because not everybody, elderly relatives, not everyone can go to a destination wedding.
The next question that we're wondering about is, what is your favorite part about planning a destination wedding?
I have to say my absolute most favorite part about planning a destination wedding is the relationship that I build with the brides and grooms and their guests. I'm always sad when the process ends, because I feel like I'm not going to talk to them so often anymore. Hopefully I'll talk to them once a year to plan their next vacation, but I do miss that contact when they're all finished. So it's definitely the relationship that I build. That's my favorite thing about my entire career, is building relationships with people.
So another question is, what are things that people may not yet know about destination weddings?
I guess the most important factors about a destination wedding are the cost issue. It's much less. And also, your honeymoon is there, because many couples have their guests for the wedding for a few nights, and then they move on to their honeymoon. People go back home and they stay on and have the honeymoon, or sometimes they go to a different resort. So they're not paying for a large wedding, and they're not paying for a honeymoon on top of it. Plus, it's less stress, because everything's planned ahead of time. When you have a local wedding, you have last minute things constantly coming up, like, are the flowers all right? What about the catering? So many different things at the last minute. With a destination wedding, everything is planned ahead of time. Mom and dad, the family and friends, once they get to the resort, they just go and have fun. And there's no stress at all.
So what do Sandals and Beaches resorts do differently than other resorts?
Well, I love working with them for so many reasons. You know, their all-inclusive is truly all-inclusive, and including tips. There are no gratuities at all. You know, I go to other resorts and you get a drink at a bar. It might be an all-inclusive resort, but the bartenders expect $1 or $2. Same thing with restaurants. It takes that stress completely off. The only people that would accept a tip at a Sandals and Beaches resort are the butlers. So that's really nice. And I like the way they do the planning for weddings, where they start right from the beginning. So, in other words, if I'm booking a package for next year, we're probably going to have 3 or 4 planning sessions with my own personal sandals pre-planning person. And I'm always on the calls with my bride, so I keep up with all the details so that I make sure that what they want is included. And it's good to have 2 sets of eyes looking at things to make sure nothing's omitted. So I like that. We'll have 3 or 4 planning sessions, so everything's planned before they get there. And once they arrive at the resort, they have the on-site wedding planner that goes over the details. They may change their mind. They may decide they actually want that overwater chapel instead of getting married on the beach. And they can do that. Most people get it all planned in advance and it's all neat. Paperwork is sent.
Another question that people may have is, how hard is it to get married in the Caribbean?
Well, with Sandals and Beaches, who I focus with mostly, it's very easy because the paperwork is sent into the resort 60 days prior. They have applications, passports, if any birth certificates, if anybody is divorced, divorce decrees. All of the paperwork is sent in at least 60 days prior, and it's a completely legal wedding recognized all over the world. So all of that paperwork is taken care of when they get there, and the wedding officiant is able to perform the ceremony, and they get their actual marriage license within about 8 weeks, but they'll get a copy of it before they leave the resort.
And what are the differences with some of the other resorts?
Well, many resorts, especially those in Mexico and Dominican Republic, I've done weddings there, but they don't do legal weddings. There's also the language barrier because everything's in Spanish, so it has to be translated. So most people at those destinations end up getting married before they get to the resort, and it's a symbolic ceremony. That's one of the big differences with a legal wedding. You don't have 2 ceremonies, you have 1 ceremony and 1 anniversary date.
What kind of rooms are available at Sandals and Beaches resorts?
Well, they have 3 levels of service. They have the luxury level, which is the most economical. They have the club level where they have a special club lounge. They have a few more amenities in the room, bathrobes, and you can make dining reservations at the club Sandals or excursion reservations. And then the top level of service, which of course is the most expensive, are the butler rooms. And you have your own personal butler there to help you with anything. It's wonderful. And most of my wedding couples, most of bride and grooms get butler service. And a lot of times their guests will do the luxury rooms. But sometimes everyone wants a butler. And that's another beautiful thing is I can tailor make whatever anybody wants for a room category.
That all sounds really nice. How can couples get in touch with you for a consultation?
Well, they can get on my website and do a quote request. Of course, we're on Wedding Wire and The Knot, and my cell phone is on the website as well as my landline. So contact me and we'll set up a time, and I'll do my initial consultation and then make some recommendations for you. And I look forward to it.
As a travel agent, do you charge service fees?
As a travel agent, I do not charge a fee. The resorts pay me commission for booking you, and you'll find that my pricing is exactly the same as Sandals and Beaches because they have set pricing. I know the resorts, and I'm able to make the best recommendations. You may look online at the hotel pricing. You'll find that I'm giving you the same price because I have set pricing. Many people do charge fees, but I choose not to because I like to stick with a product that I know people are going to be happy with. And I don't have complaints. I always have accolades on the resorts, and I often go to the weddings, so I keep up with the kind of job that Sandals and Beaches is doing. And I know the wedding planners.
Eileen, it's been great talking to you and getting to know how the process works. These resorts sound ideal to accommodate any wedding. It sounds like a great adventure for couples.
Well, thank you for talking with me.